percent participations are from women. So that again shows some surprise on that part. Yes, people are actively participating into India's economy or a wealth journey or something like that.
Right, right, right. Yes, definitely. And Deepika, for you as well, you must have been, dealing with people during pandemic, and now, you must have realized that there has been a rise in, people facing these issues, or maybe coming out, speaking about that they are facing certain mental health issues. So, what is your take on it, and what do you think would be the major reasons of rising, mental health concerns with people?
So I think rising mental health concerns obviously has been an issue through the pandemic. But something that has come to light is I think more issues are coming to light because when traveling stopped, what happened is that people started focusing inward. Our work-life balance, we had lesser time to deal with concerns. We had lesser time to go with our usual coping mechanisms. So because of that, it forced people to look inward. Um, and जब इतना सारा टाइम था अपने प्रॉब्लम्स के साथ बैठने का, तब पता चलने लगा कि और इश्यूज हो रहे हैं. एंड जब वो इश्यूज सामने आने लगे तो और हमें डील करना पड़ा कि so it brought to light a lot more issues. A lot of people became aware of slight concerns that are bothering them. And another major thing that happened was that help became accessible online. So you didn't have to go to an office and actually visit people, but you could just from the convenience of your home, reach out to someone and be like, okay, I am going to be doing this face to face with someone, but from my own house. So stigma reduced. People started feeling a little more open to access help, because of which a lot of things came to light. And I think it's also been a generational shift. Like our younger generation now is very open about their struggles, is very open about their concerns, is actually very open about their finances as well. So because of that, it so happened that the conversation shifted in this direction, and because people had access to resources, we are becoming more aware of mental health as well, right?
Right, right, right. Very rightly said. Yes, that people are more open to, take help and advice, both ways, financially, as well as, related to their mental health concerns. And, as we have both of you, one is a finance expert and one is into, mental health. When we talk about these two things specifically, it's like a vicious cycle, I would say, because when we talk about, poor financial decisions a person is taking, it impacts, how the mental health is, because the person is not financially fit, it is impacting their mental health as well. But because the person is not mentally fit, it is impacting their financial fitness as well. So it's like a vicious cycle. So what would you comment, sir, on this, how to come out of this vicious cycle, in terms of the financial fitness specifically, what is a correlation and how you can actually break this cycle and come out of it? I would like to hear both of your perspectives. So we can start with you, sir. What do you think on this?
Nidhi, I think I am a little bit of a mythological person even. So what I think, the more undisciplined piece in our entire body is our mind, which has to be disciplined first. And that undiscipline makes lots of curiosity, lots of tensions, lots of negative things into that. So whenever we see the past, हम जब भी past देखते हैं ना, we only take two things, either regret or happiness. I did this good, I will do it in entire my life. I did, ये मैंने गलत कर दिया, I will not do, I swear to God or blah, blah, blah. I will not do at any point of time in future. So we are just taking lessons from the past to take it forward. But I think whenever we start thinking for future, I think that creates some of the problems into mind. And study says out of 5, 4 tensions or 4 future troubles is somewhere linked to finances. So if I am worried about my child education, it is somewhere about the money. If I am worried about my family's health, it is somewhere relating to this. So I think physical and thereafter उसको mental पे अगर देखूं तो mental piece में अगर मैं future देखता हूँ, so हम अगर हमारे ऊपर लेते हैं कि what are the, अगर हम if we just jot down कि कौन सी 5 future की tension है जिसके बारे में हम हमेशा सोचते रहते हैं. So it's all about excessive thinking. I think Deepika can tell better into that. Excessive thinking on that part की, तो what are the 5 worries point? If I just draw down, I am sure out of 5, 4 will be relating to somewhere out into the finances. After second wave, what happened? First wave March 20, thereafter second wave, when people saw मेरे आसपास के बहुत जने नहीं रहे, they suddenly डेथ और इतने नंबर्स बढ़ गए, सो वो थोड़ा स्कैरी एनवायरनमेंट हो गया. दैट क्रिएट्स सम ऑफ द मेंटल टेंशन कि व्हाट इफ हैपेंस समथिंग टू मी, what will be for my family. So it's more towards the family. So family means what? Family means it can be your friends, it can be your parents, it can be your near family, it can be a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it may be. So the first tension goes that only. थोड़ा टेंशन फ्यूचर का वो हो सकता है कि ठीक है मेरे को आज गर्लफ्रेंड या बॉयफ्रेंड के पास मिलने 11 बजे पहुंचना था, मैं पहुंच नहीं पाया, बट दैट इज नॉट अ कॉज ऑफ वरी. That can be a future which is coming in our mind, but I think which create the worry is morely towards either it can be a physical or either it can be a financial. That's why I think हमारे ग्रंथ में वो 2 लाइन बहुत अच्छी लिखी हुई है, पहला सुख निरोगी काया, दूसरा सुख घर में माया. So ये 2 चीज कंप्लीट हर आदमी को करना है. So if I'm talking about these two, I can correlate कि if I'm stable from my mental peace, I can take more good financial decisions, and that financial decision leads to less tension, which gives me less, ठीक है मेरी बॉडी थोड़ी सही सलामत रहेगी, and I will be more happy and healthy into that part. Over to you, Deepika, I think.
Yes, we would like to hear your views also on this, and what's your take?
No, I actually completely agree with what Manish sir just shared, that it is actually a very cyclical relationship, because जो mental health issues होते हैं, like if you are worried about something, if you are automatically stressed, if you are dealing with any issue, if you have a predisposition to anxiety or any such issue, it often leads to financial difficulty, because there is a survey that has actually shown that people, when they are going through a mental health concern, are 62% lesser to pay attention to their own finances at that moment. They are more likely to focus on other concerns which are probably more pressing. They're also 44% likely to pay lesser bills than people who are not going through something like this. So automatically what is happening is that your mental health concerns are leading to some amount of financial concerns. Then that financial burden builds, and it consequently leads to more mental health concerns. So what ends up happening is a cycle starts forming,
right,
where these kind of issues are dealing with. Furthermore, people with mental health issues earn 20% lesser than people who do not have mental health issues. So because of that, automatically you have more financial burdens that are increasing. This leads to lifestyle conditions. It often leads to some amount of depression. There has been a systematic review done with 40 studies which showed increase in financial concerns leads to an increase in depression, and vice versa. So that's the reason that because इतने ज़्यादा closely है ये चीजें linked, कि अक्सर ऐसे issues होते ही रहते हैं कि हम कैसे deal करें इन चीजों से, and people are usually in the same this thing that they feel that sense of helplessness come up कि we will not be able to come out of this problem.
Right. It is definitely a vicious cycle here. And जैसे हमने अभी problem की बात तो कर ली कि this is a big problem that we have financial stress leading to mental stress, and it's leading to a lot of problems, and even statistics, we have the figures that yes, it supports that as well. But now coming to the solution part of it, how to come out of it. So Deepika, first I would like to understand, like you mentioned that you did animal assisted therapy that you do. So for the benefit of all the people who are hearing you out, if you can just in brief tell what this therapy is all about and how it helps to take care of the mental stress and reduce it to a greater extent. So what are the benefits? If in very brief you can explain that how it works.
Absolutely. So animals in general are such happy creatures that when you spend time with an animal, you automatically start feeling better. So there were people who said, "Chalo, isko therapy mein try karke dekhte hain, let's see what happens." And it so came by that animal assisted therapy is the use of trained animals in the therapy process. So there is still a therapist present in the room who's the one who's talking to the person, dealing with the concerns that they are going through. but you also have a trained animal in the session. So when people come for therapy, when people come to discuss their issues, it's very difficult to open up to someone and talk to them about something that's causing you so much distress, right? But with an animal present in the room, it just becomes easier to talk to them. They lighten the mood. Sometimes they do certain antics which make it easier to talk about things. Sometimes it so happens when you are going through something, just focusing on something else like an animal makes it easier for you to sit with the feelings and on the discomfort that comes through. So those are just some of the ways in which animal assisted therapy works. Research has also shown that when you are petting an animal, your blood pressure, heart rate, anxiety starts reducing, and it also has the same benefit for the animal. So it's a very mutually beneficial process.
That's really interesting to know. Now, again, Manish sir, also, if you talk about solutions, now we are moving to solutions on managing the finances. So what are your advice or, some, money habits that we can say that people should incorporate so that they're taking full control of their finances, they're financially fit, which in turn, reduces the mental stress also, which is financial reasons are the majority of the reason why people are mentally stressed. So why not, just went to the roots and, try to reduce it there only and be more financially fit. So some money habits that you would like to share that, people should be following and sticking to it for the long term as well.
निधि mental health से शुरू करते हैं. जो मेरे को लगता है कि see, we have a physical body and we have a mind. ठीक है. जितने भी participants हैं, along with you, Deepika, and everybody who is listening, how many times in a week we go to gym, है ना, to craft our body, है ना? That because we want to show it to the people for our own self. That is the inward journey, was Deepika mentioned earlier. What we do to make our mental peace or to go inward and search for ourselves, search for our soul or something, whatsoever you can say. We don't do meditations and all these things. That I strongly urge everybody to, at least in a week, at least twice or thrice, do a meditation. Just close your eyes. You don't need to go to any sadhu baba or something like that. You just go to any of, just sit, relax. That's all. Talk to yourself. Find a good place where you can sit and you can talk to yourself. That's all. I think automatically it will create a good habits to keep your mind, body, everything and soul at peace. That is first. So it's all about the habits. So if we go more deeper towards the habits, two types of habit. One is bad habit, one is good habit. But habit is habit. Okay? So habit can be good, can be bad. Monetary habits, good habits, it can be, now the festival seasons are on. So a very good litmus test, if you are breaking any of your investment in this festive time, it means you are not planned person. You are not planned person. मैं क्या करूंगा? I'll go, ठीक है यार, मेरे को एक कार अच्छी लग रही है, I should buy it. फेस्टिवल है, ठीक है, मैं बाद में कुछ कर लूंगा, मैंने आज म्यूचुअल फंड ब्रेक करा लिया. I am taking new EMIs at the time when economy on a very high rise, when all the EMIs are on a very high. So rather than, what should I do? I should pay some of my loan. मैं loan pay कर दूं, ज्यादा better है, so that मेरा mental peace ठीक रहेगा, because now EMIs, rate of interest on all the EMIs are quite high. 125 bips point jump is not a joke or something, but we are just splurging the money to get more EMI and more burden to ourselves. Today is Diwali, we will show to our friends, we will show to our family and all these things, but you have to pay the EMI for next year or 2 years or 5 years, whatsoever plan you choose. So monetary habits in terms of splurging and saving, both habits are good. If you do splurging today, boss, saving mein problem aayega. Start a good habit of saving today so that you can splurge in your retirement time. So start making some of the habit. It is not always about investing even. So I'll go a little more further. You must have your SIPs, you must have your EMIs, you must have your food bills, you must have your hotel bills, but try to make pockets of these. एक बार pockets बनाए कि okay, if I have 100 rupees, I will spend only 10 rupees towards my hotel. I will spend 20 rupees only for my girlfriend. I'll spend this much amount for my family or whatever it may be. So that habits, starting में बहुत pain देगा to create that type of habits. But I think after a 6 month or a year, you will be a well-disciplined person. You should start planning for your Diwali fest expenses, I think 2 or 3 months before. So if you are planning anything for your New Year celebration, I think just spare some of the amount every month for twice, I think we still have 2 or 3 months time in our hand. I think you will be in a better position. So that type of habits. So money habits is, it can be an investment habit, it can be a saving habits, it can be a spending habits. But habits, keep a good habit so that you should be on a disciplined place. Because every time you will find some of the achha birthday aa rahi hai kal, so you will always have a celebration. You will always have something to show to the people. And for that, if you are splurging more money, I think you are riskier your retirement, you are riskier your child education, you are riskier something which is more important and urgent goal rather than this is which you are going to show to somebody.
Right, right, right. And I think for our audience, a very comprehensive and insightful answer that was, talking about the meditation, the working on your body, also the, physical health habits, and money habits, like, it's rightly mentioned. So basically, so you're trying to say that focus more on your budgeting, your expense part should be taken care of, then your savings for your liquid needs, and then your investments as well. So if you are able to manage your cash flow, really well, it definitely, it will help you out in being more financially fit and taking care of your mental health as well. Right, sir?
Yes.
So now, Deepika, for you, now if you talk about again, we talked about money habits. Now, what about certain habits to maintain our mental health? From you, maybe 2-3 tips or some mental health tips that you would like to give, so that people can actually manage their stress levels quite well.
Yeah, I think it's very important to be able to manage your stress levels, especially given the society that we're living in right now, because the stress is continuously increasing.
Right.
So, as Anisha already mentioned, it's a great idea to meditate and introspect and look at yourself. So the more you introspect, the more you know about yourself, you'll build awareness. So you'll build awareness about what you do know, how you feel in different situations, what are some things that bother you, what are some things that trigger you. So taking some time out actively every single day to introspect. So you can journal, write it down. Or some people find a lot of meaning in drawing and art. Some people find a lot of meaning in music. Whatever is your method to spend some time with yourself, get to know yourself, take a minute to, just be with those things and ask yourself certain questions. What were some of the good things that came out of today? What were some of the bad things that came out of today? What bothered me? So just getting a holistic summary of your day is one of the things that I would always say this. I would also say that build communities of support around you. So friends, family, a therapist, if that's something that works for you. Animals, of course, if that's so anything and everything that gives you comfort, provides you some backing, some support. Another very important thing is to add some amount of physical movement and exercise into your day, because that actually releases endorphins, gives you some time to be with yourself. And I think something that all of us need to learn in the time and space that we are in today is to be with some amount of discomfort. Because ऐसा possible नहीं है ना कि हम हर समय हर चीज सॉल्व मिलेगी या हमें हर समय हर चीज जैसे हम चाहते हैं वैसे मिले. But if you take some time to figure out that, okay, this is what's causing me discomfort and gradually I am working towards it, you also start feeling better amongst yourself. And especially for your financial health, for your mental health related to your finances, I think it's very important to, again, introspect. What is my pattern with money? Am I an overspender? Do I suddenly go on a shopping spree when I'm not feeling okay? If that is the case, then always have a set fund to go on your shopping spree so that you don't build your stress for yourself. Also know, how do I feel when I spend? How do I feel when I save? How do I feel? What would I want in the future from myself? Just giving yourself that awareness about your own self, about your own patterns, makes it a lot easier for you to plan and spend accordingly. Thereby, you are reducing your financial stress as well.
Yes, that's
Maybe just would like to add thing in
Yes.
Deepika. People take very seriously rather than wait for a moment to live for a moment and live the moment. And they are spending like anything. So in social media, revenge traveling, revenge shopping, and everything. I don't know what type of revenge it is, but ultimately it is empty your pocket. That is not right. So be careful for all these things. Avoid that type of social media. Back to basic. That is important.
Yes, true. And coming to what you just said, Deepika, just talking about doing what you love, be it art, drawing, or being with the animals. So basically, it comes down to a point wherein I'm just asking this question. Maybe people would have this in mind that they will say that we don't get time to do all this. They are so much busy in their work and other things that there's no time to do what you love doing it. So what will be the advice, even Manisa, you can tell us some tips on time management or something on that sort, that what can people do so that although we know that yes, it is important that we should be taking out time to do something which we love doing, like a hobby or something, but how to actually do it, like the practical things to how to take out time from the busy schedule to do it, so that it definitely, as you rightly mentioned, it takes care of our mental health as well.
I think it needs to be a very, very conscious effort. See, unfortunately, we live in a society that says कि जितना काम कर सकते हो उतना काम करो. So it is something that hustle culture. Let's respect the grind. Let's go for the grind. Obviously, and to survive in today's world, we actually have to put in the number of hours that we do. But despite that, because once you start recognizing the effects of this for yourself, you'll automatically start creating pockets of time. But to create that, you consciously have to create pockets of time. So my suggestion to everyone is, at any point in time, take out half an hour during the day, which is just time that you spend with yourself. So you can choose any half an hour after waking up, during lunch, half an hour at the end of your day. At any point, consciously take that half an hour, put your phone away, put everything away, put your devices away.
That's the main culprit.
Yeah, don't turn on the television, don't do anything to distract yourself, and actively spend that time to be with yourself. You start including that half an hour as a part of your day, you will automatically start finding things to do. You'll find so many people, when I tell them this, they're like, I took out half an hour 3 days this week and I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to do with that time. No problem. You take that half an hour to figure out what you want to do with your time, and gradually you'll come up with activities to do. You'll find things that you like. You'll find things that make you feel good, or you'll also find questions to answer yourself. A lot of people use journal prompts. There are multiple ways to introspect. It just requires a conscious effort, a change from our end to start making that effort.
Right. So what is your take on this, how to take out times, some tips?
Time management, I think it's respecting the time. It's all about discipline. बोलते हैं ना, if you don't respect the time, time will not respect you.
Exactly.
So you have to take it as seriously in life. Everybody has a 24 hours. Let's start with from our honorable Prime Minister, be it Narendra Modi. Take out the schedule of everybody, of a big person, be it Mukesh Ambani or any of these person. I think we all have a same 24 hours. It's all about the priorities first. It's all about the discipline. So if I'm talking about priority, we are a human being. If we are not giving ourselves at least 1 hour or half an hour in a day or something like that, which Deepika mentioned, then we are the stupid person in this world. If we can't give at least half an hour to ourselves. So I think if we spend 2 or 3 hours in a week for ourselves, simultaneously on the money part, I request all of you, in a month, at least give 1 hour to your portfolios, to your spending habits, to your income, to your expenses, analysis your income, your expenses, your goals, your investment, review them properly, whether it is right or wrong. I don't want you to go every day and check the newspaper कि अच्छा stock का भाव क्या हुआ. I am talking about the person who is taking stocks as an investment. Just at least spend 1 hour from your schedule every month for your review your portfolio, whatever I have, whether it is right or wrong. So Jet Airways at that time, Kingfisher, you will have lots of stocks which was into Nifty 50 at some point of the time, and today they are nowhere. So if you are just investing, then again it's a problem. You have to review your portfolio, which we usually say to all our customers and investors. So give 1 hour to your portfolio to just check it out whether I am on the right place or not. Whatever I did, whatever investment, whatever savings I have, and I think the best time management discipline, I think inward, half an hour, 1 hour per week, half an hour, 1 hour per month for your reviews part. I think that's enough. I don't want you to give so much time for that. From a 24 hours multiply by 7, you have to just give 2 or 3 hours to yourself. अगर मैं उतना टाइम भी खुद को नहीं दे पा रहा हूँ, means something is wrong. It's not about I am too busy. No. It's not about busy. Believe me, it's not about busy. It's just about our perceptions. कि we are so strong with our perceptions कि हमको हमारे लिए 1 घंटा नहीं निकल पा रहा है. If big persons can spend their time for themselves, we can definitely do it. And for portfolio, it requires discipline approach. It requires serious approach to take it. Otherwise, you will be in a big mess.
Right. So in terms of, I think mental health is half an hour every day, and for finances 1 hour a month. So that's a key takeaway for everyone. Please note that, and book your calendars accordingly, and make sure that half an hour is with you. You're spending on yourself, with yourself, and not with your phones. And 1 hour in a month, I think, sir, it's doable. I think this much everyone should do for their portfolio also.
And to create any type of habit now, it will take time. फ्रेंड भी अगर सिगरेट पिलाएगा ना, तो थोड़े टाइम तक वो हेजिटेशन रहता है, फिर हैबिट बनती है. वो गुड हैबिट्स बनने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है. बट आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर अ डे व्हेन आई स्पोक टू माय मॉम, और मेरे मॉम को बोला कि मॉम ने बोला बहुत दिन हो गए, एक बार फोन नहीं किया. सो मैंने बोला कि यस मम्मा, थोड़ा बिजी था. तो मॉम ने एक बहुत अच्छी चीज बोली कि इफ यू कैन नॉट स्पेंड सम मिनट फॉर मी इन अ डे, तो वो गलत है. दैट डे आई मेक अ पॉइंट विथ मी, मैं एवरी डे इन द 9:30 मैं कहीं पे भी होता हूँ ना, मैं एक मॉम को कॉल जरूर करता हूँ एवरी डे. सो अब वो हैबिट में हो गया. बट वो हैबिट को क्रिएट करने में स्टार्टिंग में मेरे को अलार्म लगाना पड़ा था, विच वॉज ऑल्सो नॉट राइट, कि तुमको तुम्हारी मॉम को फोन करने के लिए अलार्म लगाना पड़ रहा है. टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, एंड आई कन्फेस्ड इट. बट यस, आई थिंक वो धीरे धीरे जब हैबिट बनती है ना किसी चीज की, देन इट इज गुड. इफ यू कैन स्पेंड सम टाइम फॉर योर पेरेंट्स, नथिंग एल्स यार, दे जस्ट रिक्वायर योर अटेंशन ऑन देयर रिटायरमेंट टाइम. That's all. They don't need your big money. They don't need something. Sorry, I am a little bit about emotional person as well. So मेरे को ये चीजें लगती है कि ये चीजें लाइफ में मेंटल पीस बहुत देती है. Whenever you are with the family, that's give you a good mental peace. And habit is habit. You have to create it, boss. And for time management, respect the time. I think everything will be settled.
Right. And sir, like Deepika also mentioned, doing what you love. So if you love spending time with the family, I think that's a therapy that you're doing for yourself. So no harm in it. Yes. Now another issue that I would like to focus on, it's a little critical thing that I would like to discuss here. When we talk about and we hear in news about suicide cases, it's very critical, and mental disorders, I think it's a major factor behind people taking this huge step. And there has been a study where it says that around 47 to 74% of the risk in suicide risk is because of the mental health issues. So it's very, very critical, definitely. So Deepika, what do you have to say about it? And how can people be at least be on that level, that something like this, thoughts like this shouldn't come in the mind? So at least that level of mental fitness should be there. You should not be going to that alarming stage, forcing people to take steps like this.
So honestly, while mental disorders are actually a risk factor for, it's an increased suicide risk, there is actually no correlation between more mental health conditions leading to suicide. It's what ends up happening is that people who have a mental health condition have very limited support available. As in, things are changing. I'm not denying that, but things are changing at a very slow pace. So what happens is that there aren't enough policies available alongside that help manage the disorder along with working and all of those things. So there are a lot of systemic issues that come in, that there's a lot of stigma that people face when they have a mental disorder. And that lack of support creates an environment where a person cannot access the kind of help that they need. So they're pushed to such a point that they feel like कि option ही नहीं है, I will have to now take such a drastic step. So I guess individually, what we all can do is educate ourselves, try to build a system of support where we are looking at one another, helping one another, talking to each other, understanding a person's distress, understanding the place that they're coming from, so that they feel a little more supported, obviously. And other ways are also increasing access to medication, increasing access to professional help where they would need it, so that this is something that we can take care of. I think as soon as a person starts feeling supported, it is much easier for them to deal with any issue that they are dealing.
Right, right. And do you also think that the major financial stress that people have is of loans, EMIs, debt?
Absolutely,
Encounter
absolutely.
such cases?
Absolutely. In fact, there has been a study that has actually shown that 46% of people who have some kind of financial constraint or debt have considered suicide at one point of time. And 86% of people have said that being like being in debt has made their mental health conditions worse. So there is definitely a correlation between that, because something that financial issues create is a lot of strain and stress on a person. That coupled with normal difficulties that people with mental health conditions face, which is difficulty in making decisions, difficulty in remembering to say pay bills or stay around these things, it worsens the impact of the financial constraint that they are facing. Also, India does not really have insurance for mental health as a whole.
Mhm.
There are a few plans that have started including it, but it's not a standard thing that is done. So the burden of taking care of your mental health concern also causes a lot more financial strain. Going back to the cycle that we had established, that, it's just a very, very cyclical thing. And when a person does not see a way out, they just are drawn to that point of hopelessness. Ki maybe it's better not being
Yeah.
here.
So that is why, the reason, the debt, the loans, EMIs, like you also mentioned the stats, it's very alarming that because of this, if people are taking decision like this. So Manish sir, would you like to, throw some light on, how a person can manage their loans, their EMIs, and, be in a better position that way? Because that is, as Deepika mentioned, it's one of the major factor that people are forced to take a decision of suicide or something like this. It's very alarming. So what is your advice on managing the debt, specifically? So you're on mute. Yeah.
Sorry. So I think, Nidhi, managing debt is, again, one is a discipline practice, and second, basic is always beautiful. I always used to say basic is beautiful, and you will always stick to what is the basic. And basic says 25% or more of, if the EMI should be from your income, is not more than 25%. If it is more than 25%, today is good, might be possible tomorrow you will not be in a good condition. Then it will create a great panic in your life. And sometimes you take a bigger risk for just कि अच्छा मेरे फ्रेंड ने लिए, I should also take it, rent पे चला जाएगा, blah 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 blah, and it will create the entire disaster. Whenever you are in a good time, you will see everything positive. अच्छा ये भी हो जाएगा, I'll take 2 loans, I will buy 2 properties, दोनों की EMI है, I will match my EMI with the rental, everything will be sorted out. What happened in COVID time? Salary cuts, job cut, which create more panic into that. Okay, so can you afford 3 or 6 month job loss with your EMIs? That should be the question. If the answer is yes, then you should start thinking for new loans or something like that. Till that time, I think they should avoid to taking anything. Whenever you have some income, if the loan, total EMI, it can be for car, it can be for housing loan, it can be for your credit card spends, it can be for any of the EMI of club membership and everything. If it is more than 20-25% of your total income, then it will be a worry signal. Secondly, just break down all your EMIs. What are optional and what are mandatory? So a residential house can be a mandatory. It's a good to have an EMI. But taking a luxury car, I think that you should think before taking that type of decisions, because you are taking decision with lots of mind. तुमको सब अच्छा लग रहा है कि मेरे को एक बड़ी कार चाहिए. वही what I show to the people rather than going inward. मैं बाहर देखूंगा, अच्छा, I will show to my friends, I will show to my family, I will show to my neighborhoods and everybody कि I have this car, I have this car. So जो momentary होता है ना, वो mind में इतना बड़ा momentary होता है ना, it overweighs all the things, which will not give you the critics. तुमको critics नहीं दिखेगा कि उसका negative क्या है, and that will create a problem. So I think make a good money habit, take your decision very, very wisely. If you are taking any decision for a longer term EMI, you have to be very, very careful for that.
Yes. And like you mentioned that your EMI should not crossing 25% of your in-hand income. But for people, maybe who are attending also, if they're already are into that debt trap where their EMIs are more than 25% of their income right now, what would you suggest how to, reduce it?
Car sell kar do. EMI band kar do uski. So jokes apart, I think if you already have a good burden of this, I think try to minimize your EMIs by just redeeming some of your investment and pay the loan if you can able to do it. Secondly, start restructuring your loan if it is possible. So I'll tell you one more good advice. Nowadays, if you see any of your EMI, which is of a 6.5% or 7% or 7.5% in home loan, that is going to be now 8, 8.5 and 9%. वो हमको दिख क्यों नहीं रहा है? Because my amount is not changing. Only the period is changing. So if you ask a bank boss what is the current status, they will tell you कि सर आपका loan 20 years का था, अब वो loan 24 years का हो गया. But I am in a good mood. क्यों? Because my EMI will not increase. मेरी EMI increase नहीं हुई. So all is well sort of. कि हाँ, I am in a good condition. But you are not in a good condition. 4 years, 48 EMIs more. It is something a bigger to take care of.
Add up to the interest cost, definitely.
Exactly. So if your CIBIL is good, I am again telling, if your CIBIL is good, if your payment schedule is more than 12 months and which is very good, I think that is a very right time to negotiate with your bank to reduce the EMI. If they can reduce your EMI, that is a very good chance because your CIBIL is good and you are in a good bargain conditions. कि बॉस मेरी CIBIL अच्छा है, मैं 12 months से ऊपर की मेरी payment history बहुत अच्छी है. Either you reduce or otherwise switch my job or switch my loan to other thing. I think that is the action which you need to take it. You have to call bank. You should not be lethargic or lazy. कि अच्छा ठीक है ना, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, everything is going well, चल रहा है, I don't have any problem. So if you have that type of thing, restructure your loan, redeeming some of your investment, if you can reduce your EMI and loan burden. And the third thing, talk to your banks, reduce your EMI burdens if you can.
Yes, definitely. I think restructuring will definitely help to negotiate on that part as well. And with this, I see some people, raising their hands. If you can just drop in your questions in the chat, it would really help. Just, one last, question I would like to ask both of you all. And that is why, just requesting everyone attending the session, if you have any questions, put it in the chat so that we can take it up after this. So, sir, I would like to, just have certain insights and certain advice or tips for the entrepreneurs, how they can maintain their financial fitness and maintain their mental stress also. So what is your take on it? What would you advise them?
Entrepreneurship is not an easy journey. It's an exciting journey. So if you have passion, if you can take the mental burden or mental pressure, because it's not only about the money. If you are going for an entrepreneurship journey, you are sacrificing your fixed income. You are sacrificing your monthly fixed salary. So that is a big decision, number one. Number two, be disciplined. Don't take too big risks. And I always believe in entrepreneurship. Your business should not be dependent on any of the VC or PE funding. If you are just doing negative cash flows, सिर्फ cash burn करके अपना business बनाना चाह रहे हो, and your business is entirely depend on कोई VC पैसा डालेगा, कोई investor पैसा डालेगा. Guys, times has changed now. They even want a positive EBITDA. To create a positive EBITDA, you have to go deeper inside to create your brand, to create your enterprises, to create your entrepreneurship journey. And I think in entrepreneurship journey, I always believe on 3 P's pillar. one is people, one is process, and one is product. Spend wisely on these three. Your focus should always be on these three. What is my people are doing? So people can be your employees, people can be your customers, people can be your vendors. You should have a good eye on that. Process should be good so that everything is systematic. And the third is product. You should have good focus on product. So rather than focusing on, I will do digital marketing, pe itna spend, I will get that much amount of users. I think spend more money towards product. I think spend more money towards your people. That will give you a longevity in your journey. So entrepreneurship mein everyday meditation karo boss, which I am doing from last 15 years to make myself cool. Because every day in the morning you will come across with some of the other problems which you need to solve it out. And your approach should be different, which I recently learned in one of the session. अगर कोई नई प्रॉब्लम आती है तो डोंट टेक इट कि अच्छा फिर एक कोई नई प्रॉब्लम आ गई. टेक इट एज अ चैलेंज कि ओके आज मेरे को एक कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा. आई कैन लर्न समथिंग न्यू फ्रॉम दिस प्रॉब्लम. एंड बिलीव मी, जब तुम उस प्रॉब्लम को कॉन्कर करके पार कर लोगे ना, दैट टाइम यू विल बी ऑन अ डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस. तुम्हारा कॉन्फिडेंस डिफरेंट लेवल का होगा. सो अगर तुमने एक 100 की प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर ली है ना, सो वेन एवर इन लाइफ इफ यू हैव अ 20 प्रॉब्लम ना, यू ऑलवेज हैव अ कि ठीक है यार, इससे बड़ी चीज को मैं निपटा चुका हूँ. सो इट इज समथिंग लाइक दैट. तुमने अगर एक अच्छे बॉलर की अगर बॉल खेल ली है ना, तो फिर नॉर्मल बॉलर को तो ऐसे ही संभाल लोगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी.
That would be easy to do. Yes, yes. Deepika, any special message from your side to our audience? Anything that you would like to share as a special message to everyone?
So two things. One, for every entrepreneur, and I think this is something that leads to major, massive mental health concerns. That see, when we start a new business, we all want success. We all want to move forward. But there is something that is really important, which is adaptability, being prepared for some amount of failure, because ऐसा तो possible ही नहीं है ना that you try something and it all works out.
Yes.
अक्सर ऐसा होता है that you really try, you put in every single effort that you can, and things don't work out. So the more prepared you are for failure, the more adaptable you will be to making changes in your approach. And please get a financial advisor who can tell you things that Isar just did. That, invest in this thing. Do not just invest in marketing, because very often people feel very cheated when the product is not as good as the marketing is. So if you have something that you can base your things on, chances of success are increased. And I think another very important issue that I wanted to use this space to to bring light to is that adolescents and young adults, people between the age of 18 to 34, have been reported to have the highest amount of financial stress right now. And that is majorly because they do not have enough financial literacy, and they also have not dealt with the amount of experience that older people come with. So it is very important for people within this age range specifically to build that support, to start looking at themselves, investing in those spaces, so that the concerns kind of are lessened. And this is also the same age range that has the highest amount of suicide rates. So there is something there that is not working out right for people. So people who are on the cusp of adulthood or who are just planning to make these changes, it's very important to seek support. It's very important to educate yourself, to ask people and be like, okay, let me see how can I figure my way out.
Yes, that's a great special message that you have given to everyone. Also, I would like to add here, like you rightly mentioned, that every time the things will not go as planned, and even if you do a lot of hard work, the things might not be in the similar lines. And my mom always says, life is like a radio. So it's not a music player कि जो तुम्हें गाना बजाना है वही बजेगा, but जो बज रहा है उसमें you need to enjoy. So this is something which she always says, whenever I'm feeling a little down. But I think you said something, similar lines, which I could actually resonate with a lot. So I think people listening to you also would get that message in the right spirit. So thank you so much for that. And I think people have given some questions for both of you. So I'll take up those questions, one by one. Okay, sir, there's a question for you. Like you mentioned about three P's. So a question is, any guide towards the percentage allocation to people, process, and product for creating a budding brand if you are a new entrepreneur?
So if you are a new entrepreneur, I think process will not take too much into that, because you have 5 or 6 or 10 people of team. You can manage them well. उनके अंदर एक culture develop करो. That is more important. And your ideal total investment on people and product would be more. It can be around 90% or something like that, 50-40%. Because in an initial time, I think Inderdeep had asked this question. Inderdeep, in a starting time, if you are creating some of the product, it can be IT product, it can be a service related product or whatever maybe, it requires a lot of expenses, it requires a lot of energy, because you are creating something which is not either exists into the market, and you are giving something more refined product to the market. And in both the scenario, you have to give lots of your mind into that. You have to you have to engage yourself, you have to put your entire energy to create this. So I think in an initial stage, product will be on a first, thereafter on a people, and the last or least is the process. As you grow in your organization to 50 to 100 people, then I think you should start giving some of the contribution to process, because that time your company is in between unstructured to structured. You are creating the SOPs for everything. Earlier, what you used to do, everything in the deep you are doing, be in terms of recruitment, be in terms of paying the salaries, managing the vendors, managing the product and everything. Once this organization will grow, automatically things are growing. You will have multiple leaders under you. Start focusing on creating good leaders in your initial time. Start giving, I think 40-50% time or energy spending should be on product, 30-40% should be on people, 5 to 10% on process in initial time. Thereafter, as the journey or scale, सब अपने आप सीख जाओगे. Time will tell you everything into that.
That's nice. Another question, sir. Kavita is asking that she's 19 years old and she has started earning, so she just needs some guidance on investment.
Great, Kavita. You took this decision at the age of 19. That's very encouraging, and that is the defining and winning moment for me for this today's seminar. If somebody is taking a good lesson at the age of 19. Kavita, I think the best practice to start something on, start a good SIP, open your demat account, take some of the good stocks for a longer term. So in stocks, longer term can be 1 to 3 years time. Defense sector, which is going to be very good in coming times. Start searching some of the good defense sector stocks. Invest into that. Whenever you see there is a 2 or 5% correction into the market, or 5 to 10% correction into your stock, buying a little bit more stocks into that. Don't go beyond 4 or 5 stocks. Just make a kitty of 4 or 5 good stocks, which can be on only and only large cap stocks, or a little bit on a mid cap chalega, because you are at the age of 19, you don't need money at earliest. And take a good SIP in some of the mid cap stocks to take care. I think that is the best thing which you can do it at the age of 19. If you are saving 10 rupees, 5 rupees equity mein dalo, 5 rupees ki ek SIP start karo. Best way.
Sir, in addition to this question itself on related to investments, Ramesh is asking best investment advice, anything if you want to share on shares, real estate and gold.
Ramesh, I think share is a good option for a longer term. We saw a little bit pressure on a global side. Inflations वगैरह की बहुत बात हो रही है US वगैरह की. So I think we see a little bit pressure for next 3 months, but that gives you a good opportunity to invest on the lower side. वो invest करके रखिए at least for 1 or 2 years time. Stocks, which I say is a good bet as of now. IT sector looking good, banking sector looking good. Apart from defense sector, where you can invest your money. Real estate, avoid at least for 6 month time, so that you will get some of the good stress sell, where if you want to park, then you can park it, and let this EMI stables at some level first, because sunne mein aa raha RBI is going to again increase it with 50 bips point. So then it is the total impact is 175 bips. So 175 bips को on a normal language आपकी EMI 1.75% से 2% के बीच कहीं बढ़ जाएगी. So 2% का jump EMI में बहुत बड़ा होता है, और आपको real estate में अगर आप EMI के through जा रहे हैं, so you need to pay for next 10 years, 5 years or 15 or 20 years. Avoid taking real estate. That is not a good time, though the rates are very high even into that. Gold is a good investment option as a hedging. Entire your portfolio 15-20% should be into digital gold if your wife is happy. Otherwise, take physical gold. I don't have any problem into it.
Thank you so much, sir. And I hope Ramesh must have got the answer. If any further query, feel free to ask anything else. Um, uh, Preetam Bar is asking how satisfaction and expense should go equilibrium. I didn't understand the question. Anybody would like to take up this?
पीताम्बर जी, आई थिंक आप कुछ पूछ रहे हैं सेटिस्फेक्शन इन एक्सपेंसेस और समथिंग लाइक दैट, कैसे उसको मैनेज करें. सो ये हैबिट्स है, ये थोड़ा सा एक साइको है. whenever you are going to do some big spending, एक बार जाओ रेट्स वगैरह लो, give yourself an hour or 2 hours time. Whenever you are in a good state of mind again, then think whether you require this or not. Because splurging always attract you. Spending will not attract. I will say spending or saving is a very boring activity. Believe me, it's a very boring. Investment बहुत आपको बोर करेगा, एक fatigue situation लाएगा, कितना म्यूचुअल फंड, कितना इक्विटी, बहुत हो गया यार. I don't want. But I think that's the life. You have to be with that. So just उसको मैनेज कीजिए. Whenever you are going to do any of the big spending or big expenses, उस टाइम आपको बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटमेंट रहेगा to take it. I think that's called the splurging. You are spending big money on something which you don't require. Give yourself a day, 2 day time to again come into the normal scenarios. Because आप वो ऑरा में होते हो. अगर आप एक शॉप में हो, वो आपको सेल वाला पर्सन भी दिखा रहा है, आपके सामने एक बहुत अच्छी कार भी खड़ी है. So everything is looking very gloomy and very good. But whenever you are coming into the normal conditions, then you will realize, नहीं यार, ये शायद मैं इससे काम चला सकता था. So that you need to manage, and it's again a discipline, and it's again a mental habit which you need to create.
Thank you so much, sir, for that answer. And the last question, just one more question that is there. Again, sir, for you, what percentage of the income should you suggest should stay in the bank, in the current account, fixed deposit, be used for EMI and invested in stock? So basically the allocation, how it should be.
Aishwarya, whatever account, whatever you have in your bank account, उसको दो पार्ट में स्प्लिट कर दो. To take 2 saving account, एक saving account, make it as an emergency fund. If you are single or sole earner in your family, then 6 months of your expenses should be into that bank account as an FD. Whenever you need it, you can take it. If you are not a sole earner, if you and your spouse both are earning, then 3 months of your expenses, which are mandatory expenses, उसको उस बैंक अकाउंट में एज एफडी रख के छोड़ दीजिए. The remaining in today's time, I will say, in terms of percentage of the income, I think 30 or 40%. Be greedy a little bit to invest into your stocks. वो अमाउंट थोड़ा सा आपको आपके बैंक में रखना चाहिए, 30-40% of this. And if you have a good saving account, और अगर आपके पास अच्छी खासी FDs है, तो उससे आप क्या कीजिए, EMI के लिए होम लोन में you always have an option of house saving or something like that. Home saver loan. Take a home saver loan account. आपकी जितनी भी इनकम है उसको उसमें डाल के रखिए. So whenever you have a bigger money, आप उसमें डालोगे तो उस पर आपको इंटरेस्ट कम लगेगा. You need to pay less interest on that. So एक होम सेवर अकाउंट में आपके लोन को ट्रांसफर कीजिए और वो होम सेवर में अपना सारा पैसा डाल के रखिए. Whenever you find a good opportunity into the market, होम सेवर से थोड़ा पैसा निकाल सकते हैं, be a greedy, और invest into the equity market.
Right. I hope it clarifies the question, Aishwarya. And one more question, what is your take on current IMF stance of recession, and as it will again create mental instability in the people? I think it's a very good question.
Indradeep ji, I think for every businessman, be it for Ambani, be it for any of the person in the world, एक छोटे startup से लेके बड़ा, including us, we are in the same stand कि what we should do in today's time. Everybody has a great thing to take care कि अच्छा मेरे को इतनी ग्रोथ करनी है, मेरे बिजनेस की इतनी मल्टीपल ग्रोथ होनी चाहिए. I need to open the branches. I need to go big or aggressive into this market. So I will say this is, and definitely it will create a little bit fear in your mind. So हम इसको ऐसा बोलते हैं कि जब तूफान आता है ना समुद्र में, तो अपनी नाव को सिर्फ स्टिल रखना, that is our main purpose. Our main purpose is not to move ahead. Our main purpose to be stabilized. जिस दिन वो तूफान थोड़ा समुद्र शांत हो जाता है ना, that is the right time to again back. So I think we should wait. हमको ग्रोथ में बहुत ज्यादा aggressive, that is not a, to be very honest, it is not a very good time to be very aggressive for our business and doing something big expenses. Commitment बिल्कुल मत लीजिएगा. It can be the salaries, it can be any of the commitment amount which you are taking for a longer term. I think that is not a right time. Be stable. It is a time to just let this storm pass. Once, I think in 3 or 6 months, you will get a more clarity about the things. When you see a clear sky, when you see a clear roadmap, I think that is a good moment to again raise up and open your wings and go with double speed.
Right. So thank you so much, sir, for sharing the insights. And I think with this, the questions are done, so we can wind up. So thank you so much once again to both of you, Deepika and sir, that to take out time from your busy schedules and coming up for this session. And I guess it was really insightful and it was really lovely interacting with you both. And wish you a great weekend ahead. And for all the participants are also in the session, a great weekend and also a very happy Diwali, everyone.
Thanks, Nidhi. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting. Thanks, Deepika.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I really appreciate the initiative by Fintu to do this and by everyone to attend this on a Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Nidhi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Bye.
everyone. Have a lovely day.